The price on my head is the furthest thing from my mind right now, his mother said, dipping her foot in the pool. But I've learned my lessons about trust. When I was queen, I snuck out of the castle every night for months to see Lance. I had to figure out which guards would keep my secret. In the end, I chose the wrong one. That's how your father found out. Tedros glanced at her, surprised. It was the first time she had ever talked so honestly about deceiving his father. Sometimes I worry about whether you know who to trust, though, said Guinevere. You seemed to have grown close to Lady Grimling while I was gone. Tedros flinched. She was talking about that moment in the Hall of Kings when she, Merlin, and Dove had returned. His mother's first image of her son after 6 months of being away was seeing him coddled by a woman she hated. I was surprised that she was still in the castle, said Guinevere briskly. I thought you were going to fire her after the coronation. I needed her, mother, said Tedros, heating up. The people were revolting. There was a bounty on your head. The kingdom was falling apart. I needed someone who the people had faith in. Someone who could help me. No one was here. Agatha was here for you. That wasn't enough, said his mother. I was trying to protect her from all that. It's why I kept Lady Grimling in the castle, said Tedros defensively. When you were queen, you ran away with Lance and hid from the world. You abandoned your responsibilities for love. But I have to balance my responsibilities with love. That's what makes me different from you. Because what Agatha and I have, it isn't a mockery like whatever you had with that. Guinevere exhaled as if he had socked her in the chest. It wasn't a mockery, she said. It wasn't love. Let's agree on that, said Tedros. If it were love, I wouldn't have spent my whole life trying to figure out what love is. I wouldn't wake up every day desperate to keep it now that I found it. You can't fathom how alone I felt knowing my mother's true love wasn't my father. And every day I'm not with Agatha, that loneliness comes back. Because she's the only person who has ever fought for me when I'm done. Everyone else just wants, you included. His mother said nothing. If it makes you feel better, you were right about Grimling, Tedros mumbled. Pretty sure she was conspiring with the advisors the whole time. I doubt that, his mother said softly, almost to herself. As little as I care for Lady Grimling, she cared for the Mistral sisters even less. If I hadn't fathered her back when I was queen, she would have made sure Arthur never brought them into the castle. So we all paid a price for our mistakes in the end. Tedros frowned. The plots he had worked out in his head between Lady Grimling and those 3 hags suddenly growing fuzzy. Do you know where she lives? He asked. Lady Grimling? Guinevere paused. No. It was pitch dark now, save the torchlight coming from the windows of the castle behind them. Tedros could hardly see his mother's face anymore. Did the Miss Charles tell you anything about what they did with the money? His mother asked. No, they hid it somewhere, though. That's for sure. Tedros hesitated, picking at his nose. They did say you know more than you are letting on. That's your playing dumb. His mother put her toes out of the pool and slipped both feet back into her slippers, about to leave. Tedros grabbed at her shoulder. Why did you fire Lady Grimling? Please, I need to know. Guinevere's shadow was very still. Finally, she slackened, as if there was no running from this anymore. She grew too close to your father, Tedros. This was before you were born. Grimling had always been in love with him. The whole kingdom knew that. So, when he came back from school with me on his arm, she absolutely laughed at me. To the point that I never drank from any glass she offered, fearing it was poisoned. Tedros' eyes burst. She was in love with him before I was born, but then that means... No, she did not have his child, Tedros, said Guinevere testily, pulling away. That's why I didn't want to talk about this, because I knew you'd jump to conclusions. Do you really think I'll keep the secrets from you? If I knew you had an elder brother, if I knew you weren't the wasteful king, your father would have told me. Arthur had his faults, but he was not a liar, and he was not a cheat, which is more than you might say about me. But this is the truth. You are king, no matter what any snake says. Tedros looked at them, his crown sinking deeper on his head. It's time you knew the whole story, Guinevere continued. I told Arthur to fire Grimling, but he wouldn't. Not that I was worried about Arthur betraying me. He was too honest a man and too in love with me to ever do anything like that. It's why I know the snake is lying. Still, I didn't want to watch Lady Grimling continue fawning over him so openly. It was infuriating for one thing, and for another, people were starting to talk. So I had her moved to the White Tower early in my reign, so we would see as little of her as possible. Our paths rarely crossed that year you were born, even with her out of sight, though.